Hey guys, Chris here. In this video, we are doing the range efficiency and charging test in the brand new Ford Mach-E. And yeah, this is an exciting car. I've only driven it for a few kilometers, but I'm so excited. I have this car for the next 4 days. I'm gonna pump out as many videos as possible. So if you guys don't want to miss out on the upcoming videos, I would highly recommend you guys to click that subscribe button down below and also sound that notification bell. And if you like the Mach-E and other EV stuff I do, please go ahead and click that like button down below. So today we're starting here at Circle K in Furuset. We're going north to Brumunddal, 130 kilometers. Then we're turning around again back to the starting point. 260 kilometers on motorway is today's test, and then we will connect to a charger when we get back to see what kind of charging speed we do get. And then at the end of the trip, we're going to look at the consumption, the efficiency, and then calculate our theoretical range. We are now Oscar Mike in the Mach-E, and guys, look at this beautiful weather. What a lovely day to do a range test. But it is a bit cold. It is, 2 degrees Celsius, and it was +3 when we started, and we have now done 32 kilometers. Been on the road for a little more than 20 minutes, and our consumption is 25 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. Though I think we are at an elevation of around 120, 130 meters. But we do have a tailwind, but that elevation climb will, of course, give us a higher consumption. So what will be interesting is that what their consumption will be at this point on the way back. This is a pre-production car, so I'm currently not using the built-in navigation system because that would it just doesn't want to work today. So let's see if we can boot it up here. Again, this is a pre-production car. It actually has the yellow markers as what you get in the US and the Americas. We don't have that here in Europe. Yellow side markers on the car, and you can see the navigation just doesn't want to start. But we do have Apple CarPlay, and that does work, but we don't know what state of charge we will arrive with. But again, this is a pre-production model. The cars that are delivered to customers won't have these issues. So this is a long-range all-wheel drive, giving it a 99 kilowatt hour battery pack gross, or 88 kilowatt hour net. It also has a WLTP range of 540 kilometers, and it also has dual electric motors, one on the front axle, one on the rear axle, with a total system output of 350 horsepower. Okay guys, we're now at a spa. I went to the restroom just right down the road from here along the motorway, one of these stopping bays where they have these public toilets. And then I hopped into the car again, and then my trip was reset. Look at that. 8 minutes ago, 4 kilometers ago, my trip was reset. And usually these cars don't reset the trip computer just by getting in and out of the car. I mean, like exiting a few minutes. So that's a bit annoying. And then I also reset this trip computer while I started to drive, and also this one. But look at this, guys. So I was like, okay, what am I going to do now? Because everything is reset. But thankfully, I thought at least this was reset, meaning that the consumption here. But look what happens. When you reset, now it works. Now it works. Okay. So that is super annoying. Now it works. So what? That doesn't make any sense. So I've been pressing this for 20 times, resetting this. I've been, clicking here, pressing everywhere, but it just didn't want to reset. So yeah, okay, so the whole thing is just crashing. Yeah, okay, why did you do that? Okay. Okay, at least we could reset the trip here. So we'll have to do some calculations along the way, but we were at 25 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. So I'll have to reset. Yeah, we're just gonna go and drive now, not let that tick on too long, and then we will have to do some calculations at the end of the trip. But guys, we can at least look at our state of charge, which is 78%. So we can also do some calculations towards that at the end to just quality check the results at the end of the video. We are now here at Mjøstårnet. As per usual, the beautiful Mjøstårnet, the wooden skyscraper. But guys, I just want to talk about how quiet and comfortable this car is. We're doing 110 here on the motorway, and this is such a silent car, especially at this price point. This is super impressive. I mean, tire noise is at a bare minimum. It does have, you know, some wind noise at motorway speeds, but I mean, it's barely there. It's like almost as quiet as something like a Mercedes-Benz EQC or an Audi e-tron, but yeah, this is a much cheaper car. So I am very, very impressed by how silent and quiet and comfortable this car is. It really puts everything else in this price bracket to shame of what I have driven. So yeah, that is super, super impressive. So I mean, we can look at our consumption, which is 25 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. But we really do have to, you know, do the calculations when we get back to Oslo. But one thing we can look at, I'm just gonna, you know, drive out at a roundabout here and stop in the bus stop over here. But yeah, so one thing we can look at is the state of charge, which is 64%. So that is interesting, 0 degrees Celsius, so the temperature has dropped a bit. But yeah, 64%, that means we have only used 36% state of charge to go 130 kilometers on the motorway. So yeah, so we're gonna set off now, get back to Oslo, and then look at the numbers. Okay guys, we are now back here at Circle K in Furuset. So we arrived with 22% state of charge left with 77 kilometers of range left. And well, since the, you know, the trip computer was reset, we have had a consumption of 26 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers in the last 1 hour and 40 minutes, done 175.4. But what we're going to do now, before we, you know, do the calculations of our theoretical range, and, you know, at least we were able to go 260 kilometers, you know, with today's conditions, 4 degrees plus here, the coldest was 0 degrees Celsius. We're going to go to connect to a charger now, but we have to go to a different, well, station to here, because they don't have, you know, chargers with speed readouts, and this car doesn't have also a kilowatt readout. So we're going to go to Circle K in Sandvika, I think, and then we will connect to a charger that will also allow us to, you know, deplete the battery some, to also, you know, get more of that higher charging speed low in the state of charge. Okay, we are now here at Circle K in Sandvika, and yeah, we have to turn off the ignition. And these are the tritium chargers, which have a big old readout there for reading the speed. This is a very nice, you know, flap and door for the charging port. Really nicely done. And then let's go ahead and let's see. Let's see. Get my chip here. Okay. Please wait. Approved. And then, okay, we are connected. So let's see what kind of speed we do get. So we arrived here with 15% state of charge, and this screen looks new. Maybe they've done some updates here to the software, but the graphics here look new. So let's see if we do get some decent charging speed. Okay, there we go. So 15% state of charge. Yeah, this is new. The whole graphics here are new. So different font. But look at that, guys. We are, boom. Yeah, we are ramping up now. 130, 128, 127. Okay. So we've been on the road for a few hours now, about 3 hours. And, you know, the last portion before we came here was not on, you know, high-speed motorways. You know, crossing from eastern to western Oslo is like, yeah, much slower speeds than the 100 and 110 zones. So we are, doesn't seem like we are getting, you know, that 150, which is the claimed peak speed, but I don't know how the charging curve looks like on this car either. So I don't know if we will get that speed, lower in the stated charge, or I'm not sure. So this car doesn't have any preheating, neither automatically or manual. But yeah, so my next video will be the 10 to 80% stated charging test. So yeah, so okay, 17%. We are climbing a bit here in speed, so that's nice. So I mean, we don't have, it's not the worst speed, but still we're a bit off the, claimed top speed of, or peak speed of 150. But it does seem to be climbing, guys. It does seem to be climbing. So that's nice. 133. Yeah, so this isn't bad. I mean, I think the outside temperature is around 2 or 3 degrees Celsius, and it seems to be creeping up. It does seem to be creeping up. 135 now, 136. So I'm very excited for my next test, which is the 10 to 80% stated charge test. Okay, now we seem to be hitting that peak speed, 135, and then, I don't know. Okay, look at that. Up and down, that's a bit weird. Down to 130, down to 129, up to 130, okay. It seems to be yo-yoing a bit here now. Look at that, guys. That's just so strange. This is kind of like the Polestar 2 charging curve, where it peaks, throttles, but this does seem to be doing it much more rapidly. Okay, so while we're standing here, this Mach-E, I was talking about it being so quiet. And there seems to be a theme here, because this car is equipped with the Continental Viking Contact 7s, which seem to be the tire equipped to all the cars I find quiet, and the cars I find noisy are equipped with the Nokian Hakkapeliitta R3s. So I'm really looking to do a test. So if there's a tire supplier out there, a company, whatever, who wants to, supply me, you don't have to, give me tires, but lend me tires or a wheel set on my e-tron, so I can do a proper sound test to see if these Viking contacts really are that much quieter than the Nokian Hakkapeliitta R3s. From what I could find online, these are about 1 to 2 decibels quieter than the equivalent Nokian Hakka R3s. So these are also quite narrow. They are 225, 55 19s. So quite the large rim, but narrow tire. So that seems to be an advantage during road noise. So that is very, very nice. So let's go ahead and take a look at the charging curve again over here, or the charging session. So, okay, seems like we peaked at that 136. So yeah, so I don't see any point in, checking in any more about the charging, but we did get decent speed. We did get decent speed while connecting to the charger. So that is not bad at all. Okay guys, so I've done all the calculations now, collected all the data, so we're gonna go through the numbers now. So we arrived at Circle K in Furuset with 22% stated charge, meaning that we had used 78% stated charge. And if we divide that by 260, which was the distance traveled, and then we multiply that by 100, we get a theoretical range of 333 kilometers if we go by that alone. We can also calculate that 78% of the total battery capacity, which is 88 kilowatt hours net, will yield 68.64 kilowatt hours. So that was the amount used according to the car. But we can also look at the numbers. So we know that before the trip computer reset at the ESPA, we had an average consumption of 25 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers. And we also did 84 kilometers, and on the remainder of the trip we had an average consumption of 26.0 kilowatt hours per 100 kilometers, which was 175.5 kilometers. So that's basically 260 kilometers there. You know, there might be some error here because the car's counting some range, and you know, that might be a little bit more than the real range, but still, I mean, it's close enough. This is, you know, only an estimate, but if we consider that, we had a total usage of 66.63 kilowatt hours. And if we divide that by the kilometers traveled, that gives us an average consumption of 25.6 kilowatt hours. So there's a difference here between the measured usage according to the consumption of the car, you know, reported, which is 66.63. And then if we take the percentage, we have actually used a little bit more, which was 68.64, and the difference there is 3%. So that is our heat loss. So in the reality, yeah, 333 kilometers range in these conditions between 4 plus and 0 degrees Celsius isn't bad at all. I mean, that isn't bad. That puts this in line with the test I did with the Tesla Model 3 long range, though it was colder on that day. But that also, you know, gave a theoretical range of around 335. Yes, this has much higher consumption, but it is a much larger vehicle, both on the outside and especially on the inside. It is a much more quiet vehicle. So this, you know, is an SUV. This is an SUV. It is a hatchback. You know, it's a fastback, so you have, you know, that hatch, making it a bit more practical. And it is super quiet on the motorway. So for being this type of vehicle, I don't think that consumption is bad at all. This car does not come with a heat pump. I don't know if Ford will, you know, equip this with a heat pump at a later point in time, but as it sits now, this doesn't have a heat pump. And it is something to consider that you know, Model 3 has a heat pump. But I mean, for this price point, for what you get in this package, and this range, I mean, this is an impressive car. This is an impressive car, so I can't wait to do more of my, you know, testing with this vehicle. So guys, that was today's video. Hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please drop me a thumbs up down below. And for more car content, as always guys, please subscribe. See you guys later and goodbye.